Welcome to Burning Questions. Your natural, organic, leading host is back on. Oh, not leading, top, whatever. You can call me whatever you want, but we all know I'm pretty good. Jason Bonnington joining you for Burning Questions with some special guests here. And the first man I'm going to welcome is Andrew Patrick Gath, who I believe has an announcement for us. Breaking news, a revelation. What have you got for us, Andrew?
Yeah, whether people want this news or not, but again, we've decided to pull the pin on Tornado Valley. We were happy with his run Saturday night. He still performed quite well. He's sound as a bell. He's in great order, but I think the time has come to pull the pin on him. We know he's not quite at his best at the level that we expect him to be at. It's not an easy decision because he loves being in work, he loves racing, he loves stable life. So, but yeah, his next stage of his journey will take stage when he goes to Hero program, and hopefully, we can follow his journey and see where he ends up. But again, that's it for him, and yeah, hopefully he can enjoy his retirement.
I think that's going to be fantastic. I just saw actually Keith Frenning and Michael Howard leaving here, and obviously that announcement will be on the next Hero show. It's nice to know where I'm at the pecking order now because you've told Nikkita about all this, and then we were doing retrospective, and I was half retiring Tornado Valley on the radio and then thinking, am I going in the wrong path here? Is Andy going to give me a clip? Does Norm Jenkins get the team onto me? So I'm glad to know at least where I sit. I think it's important to know where you are in the progression. We've also got the love bug, Jimmy Herbertson. Is there any horses you'd like to retire on this episode of Burning Questions or not?
No, I'm all good. That's not my job. I'm just a driver.
He's just a driver. Just making all the cash, just living the high life. And Nikkita Ross, who is in Kyneton, ready to watch her horse Star Smash go around today. You're in your finery. You excited, Nikkita?
Yes, fingers crossed he can be thereabouts, Bon, and fingers crossed even more so I think that the service holds up because I've driven about 4 laps around Kyneton trying to find adequate reception. So hopefully we get through.
At the moment, it's going better than Coburg has in recent weeks. So I think it's spot on there. And maybe you need to drive to Kyneton every week for Burning Questions. Whether you're celebrating win team or you're shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and safety. Don't forget the safety. They have you covered for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. First question. This is a little bit overdone, isn't it? Andy, just how salty is this cheddar on Andy's charcuterie board? We refer to vintage cheddar, of course.
Yeah, again, he's a really good horse. He was well performed in New Zealand before we got him. Probably, his last 4 or 5 runs weren't probably at the level that he sort of produced before that in New Zealand. But again, the first sort of time we worked him, he didn't really get around our track real good and had a few little issues, and he wasn't that great at terrain. But we're starting to sort him out, and Ballarat, the race was put on for him, but he's still done it quite easily and sort of beat a really good field. And yeah, he's going to have his opportunity to win again on Saturday night.
Now, I made you compare Tango Tara with 3 ways, and now I'm going to make you compare Vintage Cheddar with Tango Tara.
Yeah, I think Vintage Cheddar's probably just a little bit better in my mind. I just think he's can probably make his own luck a little bit more than Tango Tara. The only thing against holding back Vintage Cheddar, probably we're not sure whether he's got any gate speed or not. So and Tango Tara, he sort of never really got an opportunity to show gate speed from his barrier draws. But, I think I'd say Vintage Cheddar's a little bit better at this stage.
Jimmy Herbertson, have you ever noticed every time Andy starts a sentence, he says, and again, like he's told you this before at some stage, like, and again, like, and I'm like, I don't reckon I've heard that one from him before, but that's okay. People start sentences different ways. How good do you think Vintage Cheddar is?
Well, Bon, I actually had to ask Nikkita once she sent through the questions what you were actually getting to, whether you're asking how good the horse is or what, because I'm more of a sweet tooth and you were saying how salty it was. So I was a little bit, just had to double check things early on.
Something wrong. You shouldn't be eating sweet cheese. That cheese is probably off. So we are asking, just to clarify, Love Bug, how good do you think the horse is?
How good? Well, look, terrain, I think, left him open to criticism, but the Ballarat run just said he's got real bottom to him. As Andy said, look, we probably put the race on for him up front, but, he worked real hard through the middle and still powered away late. So, I can't really fault him off that run, and I think he'll only get better.
I think he's moral, Skeet. Moral. going to be one of my two best bets that I'm going to team up together. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he looks a really nice horse and it's going to be awfully hard to beat this weekend. Bon, as everyone mentioned, Terrain didn't pace well at all. He looked quite awkward the whole way and still just got the job done. And then it was a much better run, and I thought he paced better at Ballarat, and then expecting him back at Melton to be better again. And we saw him trial before that first start at Melton as well. So, I think he's absolutely the one to beat, and he looks like he's a nice horse.
I thought he'd struggle more at Ballarat, but anyway, I'm pretty new to the game. Don't know much about the track. I'm still learning. Question 2 of the burning questions is brought to us by the Fresh Connection. They export Australian fresh fruit, not old fruit. They don't wait till the fruit's off, and they do the fresh fruit to more than 35 countries. Headed up by Damien Glengarry, who's the export manager, and he does do a magnificent job. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries, and mangoes. freshconnection.com.au. Skeeter was the Jeff we saw last month, a class above tonight. So we know he went 51 and change on Hunter Cup night. Does he just monster them? Because we've had some mixed reports in some of those post-race interviews. Some ducks and drakes, I think, from a few people. How good is he?
Yeah, I don't think he's a class above Bon, and he's only had the 13 starts as well. So we know how hard, when you quickly move through those grades, at some point you can't keep going. It's hard, and the more seasoned horses really catch up. So I don't think he's a class above, but in saying that, I do think this looks the race for him this week. Some of the horses are maybe out of form or drawn poorly, and I think from the barrier draw, even if he doesn't get across, I think he's going to be prominent enough. And that was an outstanding run on Hunter Cup night, of course, and he got quite worked up beforehand and still could come out and run like that. So I think he's a really nice horse, definitely making his way through the grades. But has he got absolute classes on this bunch? Probably not, but I think enough to get the job done.
Is the middle light in your car on, or is that an optical illusion?
No, I've got the door open because it'd be 48 degrees in here. So, just getting a little bit of air in.
Turn the light off, it'll only make it hot. Anyway, Love Bug, what are your thoughts? My concern here is that, hi, my name is Jeff, will not get across Yankee Gold, and that's going to make life a bit harder.
Look, there's a possibility, but when they face each other, I think it was last start at Ballarat, or his 2 starts ago at Ballarat, he carried a flat tyre from the whole trip. So if he finished hard on, Yankee Gold's sort of wheel there, and for a horse to be able to do that, it probably shows that he's probably a couple of lengths better than him. So I think they can probably afford to use him a little bit harder early and a bit more early and try and get across. But the times that he ran in that Melton run on Hunter Cup night was just incredible for the class that they were in. It was a few horses that are dropping back in class, but are drawn slightly more average. So the odds are probably in his favour. But as Nikkita said, he's rising in class, and if he can win this race, he'll probably go on to a lot bigger and better things quite quickly.
Andy, you're normally the man who comes armed with the stats, sometimes written on a little piece of paper, occasionally. Dennis William, my favourite broken son, has had on three occasions in his career, he's had a little break, a month off or a couple of months off. And every time he's come back, he's won. He just likes a bit of a breather. He likes to just sit down and just sort of assess life and navel gaze a little bit. So I think he can win. What are your thoughts? How good is Hi, my name is Jeff, and will he overcome whatever obstacles, burdens and hurdles he needs to on Saturday night?
Dennis Williams has more breaks than you, Jay Bond, so that's a fair bit.
What were you waiting for? Did you have a snap then and then you just pour? Like, did it overwhelm you? Were you waiting for applause? Like how good that line was? Just continue on with your assessment, please, Andy.
I was going to give you the pecking order where you were. I won't now. I think Hi, my name's Jeff's definitely the one to beat. Again, Peter said he's only had the 13 starts. He's still not quite seasoned, but got plenty of ability. Run the times that he ran when he won at Melton last start. I don't think any other horse in the race could be able to do it. So, again, he's probably going to have to be work pretty hard to get the lead if he does get it. He's going to be quite vulnerable if he doesn't lead, but he's still the one to beat him in my mind, and I think the short course really suits him. Dennis
William will just blow him away. Does have a few breaks. All right, question 3 of the burning questions today is brought to us by APG. Go to apgold.com.au. Back to you, Andrew, straight away. Does the frontline gate mean vacations over the hill, or in this case, line?
Yeah, obviously, every time she's been able to lead, she's won quite convincingly, and you think she's going to lead again today. Saturday night, she leaves the gate really good. I thought she went good last start, but I thought she could have gone a little bit better, to my mind. Herbie was too good for me in the Group 1 without a Baron present, and she's a quality mare, took a quality mare to beat us, but I thought would have to fight a little bit harder to get us. So, but again, on the fence, I think Queen of Crime, is going quite good, but it might be 3 back to fence, and obviously Wobbly's a quality horse as well. But we have a really high opinion of her. I think if she leads, she's definitely going to be the one to beat. But she's probably going to be under the odds, to my mind. If Outer Baron Crescent had the same draw, what odds would she be? And she conquered us last start. So I still think she's won the beat, but she's going to be under the odds.
What price do you think she'll be?
I think she'll be about $1.60, $1.70.
I'm after $1.40. Skeeter called me today and said, "What's Vacation Hill?" Was hoping for, what was it, $4.50 you were after, Skeeter, for best bet? No, $2 she wanted. You're not getting $2 off me. You can go somewhere else. Jimmy Herbertson, when you gave him that little compliment there, just totally stone faced. He shows no reaction or emotion, not even a smile. Even his eyes didn't smile. What do you reckon? 2 starts, Vacation Hill has led on Australian soil for an aggregate winning margin of 29.4 metres. I think she's a certainty, but you might have a different opinion, Love Bug.
No, Jace, I think she's. I was talking to Brad Chisholm after the race the other night, and he compared her a little bit to Tornado Valley. That she's probably extremely hard to beat in front and a little bit vulnerable when she's not in front. So I can't see anything holding her out on Saturday night. There's not really going to be much pressure in the race. Wobbly and the other one off the back row, I just can't think of it at the moment. The penny drops. If he was going as good as he was through the Inter-Dominion, he might come around and give it a bit of something to worry about. But his last couple of starts probably haven't been up to scratch. So I don't think she's got too much to worry about, and she should be winning.
If you hadn't have thought of that really quickly, I was going to say that other second row runner was forget the price tag. But you were too good. You're just too good, Love Buck. Skeeter, obviously you're keen because, you wanted a price that you're not going to get, but you obviously think it's the best bet on the program.
Yeah, I think so, Bon. I think she will find the top. We've seen that terrific gate speed, and even Kate, who's usually quite reserved, when I spoke to her last Saturday night, she was quite confident, and she said she really likes his horse and was confident about putting her into the race, even over the shorter trip if she needed to. So, it's quite clear that she's a really nice mare. I think she'll be able to find the top. She's been super impressive, as everyone has mentioned, when she's led before. So I think she'll be winning.
Yep. Totally agree. Question 4 of the burning questions is brought to us by Falvo Fruits. They're specialists in table grapes, would you believe? Since the 60s, the 1960s, Michael and Josie Falvo are keeping that tradition going. God bless their cotton socks. And everybody loves their grapes. Keep an eye out for Falvo Fruits. You'll love them. Question 4 is, Jimmy Herbertson, you've got one in this race, or you're driving one. What form are we meant to follow in this Premier Stakes? There's no right answer, is there? I've got no idea. I spent 4 hours on it last night and I'm still none the wiser.
Yeah, no, I spent quite a bit of time on it as well, Jason, and up with quite a headache by the end of the night. So watched a lot of replays. I didn't look at the trial form because, it's not really that much of a guide with the 2-year-olds. But off the race form, I think, Chillin was very good at Bendigo. His last quarter was very sharp, 3 wide, taken off quite a lot of ground in a 27.8 quarter. So he was really good. Vikings, first start, is quite well bred. From Rod Lakey, he's got 2 in it. The other one is Rock and Roll Gig. It won at the Riverina Paceway at Wagga there. Its first start was quite impressive. Very green still and was hanging in quite a bit. But from the draw, if it has to come 3 wide, it probably doesn't want to be hanging like that again. So, if it's probably on just race, how they look in the race and how they carry themselves, it's probably the most impressive type. But from the draw and how its race manners were first up, it's going to have to be a bit better again. But it's an overall, it's really an open race. Just probably going to come down to tempo early, and if the little horses, they can race as well as they possibly can in their first and second starts.
Gotta love Jimmy Herb saying he spent some time on the race. Didn't go to the trials. I went to Melton, Shepparton, Bendigo, and Maryborough to watch horses all just roll around. think I spent a bit of time. Andy, have you got any idea what's going on here in this Premier?
I haven't spent any time on this race, unlike you two, and I still don't have the answer. But saying that, I thought the one Herbie driving Chilling, I thought hit the line really good, really impressed me. So it's a really tricky race. Again, if we did see one trial during the week for track, if it had turned up, would have made it a lot easier for us to pick the winner, but it's not here. So yeah, again, it's probably a race that you probably just got to follow the market a little bit, and it'll be a good form race going forward. But yeah, it's a little bit tricky. It's hard to line up trial form to race form, and horses improve off one run or even one trial. So it is a tricky race.
Yeah, I've always found, with those 2-year-old races, if you follow the market, say like a Catch a Wave starts 15.40, and you just know that you got a good, they're a good horse. Skeeter, what did you settle on?
Yeah, look, I'm probably going to go the way of horses that have shown and done it on the track already, Bond, rather than the first starters. Like you, I had a look at the trial form and really was none the wiser after going through it. There was some mixed results there. So horses like Jeremy Lou, very green, obviously, but trialled really well and then did it on the racetrack. And Chillin, as Eddie mentioned, hit the line super, and Herb as well. And Rock and Roll Gig, I thought he was really good up at Wagga as well. So I think that's the form line that is going to win the race. But yeah, I'll be watching the market as well, because it's a really, really tricky race to work out.
I settled on Rock and Roll Gig, but I got no idea. Right, we should have one question about the Miracle Mile, because apparently there's $1 million race up in Sydney this week. If it's not flooded, seems to be okay at the moment. We're getting minute by minute live footage of the water receding around Tabcorp Park Menangle. Skeeter, will they have a crack at King, or just watch him rewrite history? Are they just going to, will he just lead easily, dictate, dominate, and become the first horse to win 3 Miracle Miles on Saturday night?
I'm a little bit torn with this one. I think if Mac Dan can replicate the gate speed that he showed at Newcastle, he can probably cross King of Swing, I think, but it's whether they do have a crack at the start. So I'm 50-50 whether they do or not. But yeah, from the poll, there's no doubt that King of Swing draws to get a good trip either way. I can't see him being double crossed by anything, just given what's drawn beside him. Bondi Lockdown, no doubt Aaron will probably go forward and put some pressure on, and he's not going to die wondering. So look, I think it does look probably King of Swing's race, but the only one that potentially could throw a spanner in the works is Mac Dan.
Sorry, I was just waving to a couple of my fans there. You've got to do that, or otherwise, yeah, they get upset. Jimmy, Group 1 racing needs Aaron Dunn. He's going to put foot flat to the floor, surely. And I'm not saying he's going to cross King of Swing, but hopefully at least that makes it a good competitive Miracle Mile and not a procession. What do you reckon?
Well, I had a look back through King of Swing, and I can't see him ever drawing one at Menangle. So the only time he's drawn close to one was last day. He drew 2 and he got double cross. So, I think there's an opening there for something with a bit of speed. As Nikkita said, Mac Dan got out in 26. He was hard held there. Whether there's more speed there if Nathan chooses to let him go at the start, well, that might make it a bit of a race. But, I think Bondi Lockdown, is incredible. But in this sort of race, I can't see him winning. If he has to work forward again, he's not racing against horses that are going to stop, that are on the peaks. So, I think probably the one that's going to have the last crack at him, and he's got the class to do it, is Spirit of St. Louis. So, I think King might be in a little bit of trouble early if someone decides to actually have a crack. But, if not, well, it might be a bit of a procession like last year's edition. But, it's going to be a really good race either way.
You've got to appreciate the fact that Lovebug didn't want to go back to the trials, but then he did barrier stats on King of Swing for the Miracle Mile. I rate that. I actually rate that. Andy, who's parked in front of the Amazon rainforest today, he's down in South America just having a brief holiday. Your thoughts, mate? Is anybody going to have a dip? It's $1 million race. Somebody's going to have a dip, don't they?
Dip, there's no doubt. And I hope you're watching, Dunny, and if you do, make sure you do have a dip, make it a spectacle. Again, for Bondi Lockdown to win, it's got to be a last horse standing affair, and I think it will be all or nothing from Dunny, in my opinion. It's just he's such a great horse, Bondi Lockdown. We know he's only 4, taking on season horses, but King of Swing is vulnerable. Went terrific last week, but Bundoora nearly run him down, and it's going around $34. So, I don't think he'll be gifted the race. I'm not underplaying horses that's in the death at Menangle and win and run great races, but you only go around 2 turns, so it's probably oversold a little bit. Horses' performances sitting in the death at Menangle, of course, you only do those 2 turns compared to other tracks. So, but again, he's definitely got an unbelievable record at Menangle. King of Swings, definitely the one to beat, but you just couldn't be taking the short odds.
Has Dunny been in constant contact with you ever since you started mentoring him here on Burning Questions? Because he got a lot out of that session. Does he call you every couple of days just for an update on how he should go about it?
No, he's his own man, Dunny. He does what he wants. So, wish him the best of luck. Been friends with him for a long time, and yeah, it's great to see someone else that has got a really good horse going forward, and he owns it himself, he trains it himself, he drives it himself. He's got no one to answer to, so he's his own man, and he'll do what he thinks best. But yeah, the horse is going to have a great career going.
I think I'm going to laugh every time everyone says Dunny for some reason. I'm like a child. I'm a kid old. Anyway, Jimmy Herbertson, you're best on the program. Well, you can pick it. Seems like you've done some Menangle form, but if you want to stick to Melton, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I was really struggling to find something at Melton, Jace. It's a tough card to try and find something that's at a little bit of odds, but probably have to go with Sir Ledick. Probably about 6 starts ago, he was really flying. His figure form probably dropped off a little bit of late, but if he can bring that sort of speed that he had, 5 or 6 starts ago when he was going around favourite in a couple of country cups and that. I really think he's from the 2-hole. He's not going to be far away, and he should be finishing off quite well. So he's probably the one for me.
I'm with you. He's in my quaddie. I think he's going to be underrated because of that claiming form. Nikkita Ross, you can't have vacation. Well, it's up to you. If you want to go down that road, not for me to judge. But who is going to be your best bet on the program?
Well, I did want to have Vacation Hill. I was hoping maybe, $1.80 or something if they were feeling kind. But look, given that I'm just going to cop it, win, lose or draw, maybe I didn't mind rocking with Sierra. It's a really tough race, but she does have the back row, but was ultra impressive last time. So I think rocking with Sierra looks a good race for her.
We're going to save our best for last with Andy Gath, but I'm going the V double. V. A double here, Vintage Cheddar into Vacation Hill. So putting all the pressure on Andrew Patrick Gath. I think both of them will be winning, and you'll get a nice little price out of the multi. Andy, take it away, please, sir.
Yeah, I'm going full race. I don't know form. 2-year-old race, and Herbie's drive chilling. I just like the way it hit the line, and I just think, improve off that run. And
you just like to challenge yourself, don't you, Andy? You don't like it when things get too easy. So you've gone to a race where we've got no idea and you're trying to tip the winner in that one. Right. Skeeter, your horse goes around, your thoroughbred very soon. Have you got any chance of winning?
I think so. I think, the report, it always seems to be relatively confident, but, hopefully we're celebrating by the time this goes to Airborne.
Jimmy's just trying to sort himself out as we say goodbye. Just want to know, Skeeter, before we say goodbye, did you find whatever you were looking for when you pulled the thing down in front of you there, the little visor?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was going to try and block out the sun a little bit.
Oh, right.
No, I was just going to try and block the sun, but then I realised it had covered the. Yeah, see. No.
Then you realise the sun's massive. Great joining you all. You're all wonderful people. Thank you for saving the big announcement about Tornado Valley for Burning Questions. That's how much you prize this show, isn't it, Andy?
Oh, that's it. No, again, it's been a great horse for us, and again, we'll all get to follow his journey through the rest of his retirement and see where he ends up. But again, been fortunate enough to train a horse that virtually come from humble beginnings, and he's done so much for us, and we love him to death, and we're going to miss him when he leaves the stable.
He's a beautiful horse, and for those counting at home, that was 3 agains in the final speech from Andy Gath. Au revoir. That's been Burning Questions. Hopefully we found some winners.